Very good afternoon to all of you. You're welcome to this session. So, we have with us the members of the Argentine Spanish film El Clan, which is the closing film for IFFI 2015. The Clan is directed by the acclaimed Pablo Trapero and is the story of a typical sinister clan in the neighborhood of San Isidro, which makes its living off kidnapping and murder. Based on the true story of the Puccio family, the film takes place in the final years of the Argentine military dictatorship and return to democracy. So let me introduce, we have with us Alejandro Carrillo Penovi, who's director of the film. He has been thrice nominated for Best Editing Award in Argentina. So, we have with us Mr. Vincent, the sound designer, Ms. Micaela Buye of the production company K&S Film. And besides these personalities, we also have with us Mr. Walter Donado, who is actor of the film Wild Tales, and Mr. Orlando Polveranti, who is head of IINCA. So that is a complete Argentine delegation, and I am also happy to welcome our film IFFI director, Mr. Senthil Rajan, who is with us this afternoon. So now I'll request the editor of the film to make remarks about the film, and the other gentlemen, they can also join him about narrating the making of the film and the various aspects of the film. So after they have made the preliminary remarks, the floor will be open to question and answers by the media. Thank you so much. Sir, let me, Mr. Alejandro, please. You can use this also, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. We're very pleased to have been invited by IFFI, and I think I talk for all of us here. The Indian film industry is the greatest in the world, so for us it's very pleasing to be here and sharing with you this event. As he said, the film was edited by two persons, the director Pablo Trapero, who is also a very good editor, and at a later stage of the process he needed another point of view for reframing or resetting the story, and so he asked the production company to bring another editor so he could share and he could discuss different aspects of the film. And so they brought me in, and I worked for 8 weeks with him side by side, and we managed to find the final form of the movie, that it's the form you will see in the theaters when you screen it. And it was a very interesting challenge, because Pablo is one of our trademark film directors in Argentina. I don't think there are more than 3 trademark film directors right now in Argentina that have such importance and such international projection. And the fact that we are here, it's a proof of that. And so it was very challenging to be up to the task in hand, and it was also because it's a film that is very closely related to our history as a country, and to a lot of violence that has permeated Argentine society, not only the government or the dictatorship. The film in many ways is a metaphor of that violence, of that political moment in Argentina in the early 80s, or that lasted into the early 80s, because we had a very violent political history basically from when Perón was put out of government in 1955, Then it was that grew in the late 60s and the early 70s and throughout the 70s, and then we had the most monstrous military dictatorship in the later 70s and first 80s, where, as you may know, around 30,000 people disappeared. So our political past has a lot of violence, of blood, and also a lot of hypocrisy, because it's a story that we don't want to tell, we don't want to listen about, and it's very much like this family that the film portrays, that doesn't want their true story and their true nature to be revealed to the public, and instead they show this image of a well-respected, successful middle-class family, but deep inside they are one of the more evil things, that it's a family that kidnaps its friends and its acquaintances, and then it doesn't even set them free when they get the ransom. They actually kill them. So this monster, portrayed by Arquímedes Pucho, portrayed by Guillermo Francella, also one of the most important actors in Argentina right now, is in many ways a portrait of all those monsters that we used to have in Argentina, and that fortunately, for the moment, disappeared, and hopefully they will not come back again to have anything to do with our governors and our rulers. And well, basically that's the essence of the film. When Pablo talked to me the first time, he told me, I want to make a film that talks about hypocrisy in our society. And so we set up on trying to make the film point that and do it with style. He mentioned that he was very fond of the Martin Scorsese way of editing. And so he told me, please try to keep in mind that I would love this film to have a Scorsese tone. And so I watched the raw material, the raw footage that we had, and I said, yes, he's right. This can have a more Scorsese-like stuff. So we started playing with music, and we started playing, mixing sequences together, and well, I think it worked out. I think it worked out.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, ma'am, Buye? Sorry.
Okay, I can speak like Penny because he have all the information and he's a really good speaker. But I just let him know that El Clan was a really success in Argentina. The people in the first weekend, we were amazed how the people react in front of this story. It's a real story and real cool story, and the people was keeping going to the movies, and we was a really success for our numbers. I know that for you it's just it's not so much, but for the first weekend for us, 500,000 people to the movies is a big number, and we are really happy. Pablo is one of the best directors in Argentina. We are really happy to work with him for the first time, and I think all the crew is amazing now. All the people who work in the movie. I don't know if you see already the movie. Oh no, okay. Okay, we don't want to tell you any more about the story, but it's a real story, and when you watch it, you can't believe it. And when you finish, you feel like I can't believe it. I see the story, and all the actors are amazing. We have Francella, but we have Peter Lanzani. He's a really young actor in Argentina, and he worked in TV, and now he's a really developed for movies. He's a new movie star in Argentina. And I don't know if you have some question or you want to talk something about the sound.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse my English. First of all, I want to tell you we worked with Pablo since the script. It was very nice to me because we can work with ideas and concepts. First of all, Pablo wants to have a real movie, so he wants everything sounds exactly like it sounds in that decade. But then, when Penny became, we changed and we worked with a new concept, for me it's a very good concept, which is we turn the sound and the image in the opposite. So when we watch the good guys, the movie sounds like dark sounds. And when we watch the bad guys, the movie sounds nicely. So I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. So, any other two gentlemen like to say something?
Oh, thank you very much in the name of the National Institute of Cinema of Argentina to the authorities of India that has been so kindly to invite us to come. It's a pleasure to be here. There is nothing that I can add to what Alexander was about the movie. It has been a really success in Argentina, and it has have a wonderful repercussion in the world, what is interesting because we thought that it was an Argentinian movie make on an idea of Argentina, but it has clearly a reflex of our societies. And the Clan and Relatos Salvajes, the other movie, are really a success in Argentina and in the world, and they are showing how we can work together, I mean the National Institute of Cinema and the private sector, in order to have these movies, and is reflected also in the ticket selling in Argentina, because the share of Argentine movies vis-a-vis American movies has changed due to these movies. And we are trying to keep on this track, trying to get more, and also in collaboration with another southern countries, which is one of the most important issues to be here, is trying to get cooperation south-south in order to move and looking for histories that could reflect our own points of view. One thing that I have learned during this time in the National Institute for more than 5 years is that there is a way to tell our own histories without having another point of view. It is interesting that 3 months ago I was in Russia during the celebration of the 75th end of the Second World War, and I told to the Russian authorities that in our point of view the war was won by the Americans and not by the Russians. And they told me that is relevant because they told the story. And what gave us is the idea that it's really important to tell our own stories and to show the other countries how we see to ourselves. And that is the main point of this, I mean, to have a collaboration, to work together, and thank you very much for having invited us. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, would you like to say something?
Okay.
He doesn't speak English.
No, I'm not speaking English. My English is very funny. No.
Walter is one of the actors of White Case. That is why.
Yeah. Thank you. Sure. We are coming to questions only, ma'am. Please go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, please, Mike, please. Just a minute.
You're from there.
I'm from Delhi, Santosh Mehta. I keep covering the festival from a very long time. I interviewed somebody from Argentina, your filmmaker, long ago. So just wanted to know how many films made yearly and what is the situation now? Is it change and do you get funds or what kind of problems do you face?
We have increased our production of films from a number of 14 per year to 150 per year during these last 12 years. So the increase has been relevant. There are some discussions, obviously, about what kind of films we should make and what shouldn't. And obviously the discussion is upon the industry. The INCA is basically a sectorized institute. Is funded by the producers, so they are the relevant persons to say what to do. I know that there is some tension about filming less movies with a major budget or a major number of films with a lesser budget because the budget is only one. This discussion is, I don't know, with the changes of authorities, if it will be in the same track of giving more producers the chance to film or shorten the number and make those who are relevant in the industry film with a major budget. This kind of discussion I know is taking part in a lot of places, like in France or in Russia also, where they are saying we prefer to put more money on a movie that could be global success, the case of Stalingrad, the last movie of the Russians, and give less chance to those who are starting. I think that we have to find a balance between let new actors and new producers and directors entering into the industry with the support of the state, and also supporting those who are successful. But what we expect from the public sector is that those who are successful get more money from the private sector and let the public sector support those who are starting. It's a lack of balance between letting the new things come out and support those who are successful. I don't know if I answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, any other questions, please? Yeah, sir.
I think you made a wonderful film, and we are proud that we are having it as a closing film. But when you started off with this film, you noticed that this film has already been screened at the Venice International Competition. It has won a Silver Lion, and now it's the official entry of the Argentina to Oscars for the best foreign film language category. So when you actually started off with this film, did you have this in mind that you are making you'll be making an award-winning film, or you just started off just like that? Was there any?
I don't believe anybody works in a film believing it's going to be either a success, a huge success, or a flop. The important thing when you are working in a film is that you are performing up to the expectations of the production company and your director. And that you are performing in such a way that you know that you are making the film go from here to here. That's within your responsibility. And you know that there are people above you that have thought about the picture as a product, about the movie as a product that has to have certain marketing strategies, certain the decisions about the cast. For instance, Guillermo Francella is a household name in Argentina. Once you choose Guillermo Francella to be the leading actor of your film, you know that you are setting your film for, big leagues, because you intend to make people go to the film theater because they love to see the good actors. A good actor is something that you want to see. You have a desire to see him in the big screen. It is obvious that when you sit down with Pablo Trapero beside you, and you have to cut Guillermo Francella, which is, you know, the second best or the first actor in Argentina, you have the sense of responsibility. You sense that you are working in something big, but you don't know how big. It could also be a big flop. So you know it's big, but you don't know if it's big or big. You have your chances on your side. So I would say that that shock, that sense of "ooh, this is huge," is just the first impression. Afterwards, it's just a job. You forget that you are with Pablo Trapero, you are with a very good director, you forget that you have Francella, you forget about the budget, and you just do the best that you can with the material that comes to your hands. And afterwards, well, it's just, hopefully it goes well, and we were very, I wasn't so surprised because I wasn't expecting much. You know, I was just very happy to know that when I finished the cut, I hugged with Pablo, and we said, "Congratulations, we made it." And that's where I was happy. Afterwards, it was a moment for them to be happy, not me.
I think
Thank you.
you have missed my point. One, if you can permit me. How many films made yearly? You haven't told me.
How many films we,
In Argentina.
this year? 150.
Okay.
150. Right?
Yeah. Sir, over there, please.
I have a question of Vincent. I was reading a few reviews of the film a few days ago, and I mean, all of them sort of praised the very sort of inventive sound design in the film that you also sort of spoke about, you know, and I thought it was really interesting in the way that sort of the film confounds the audience's expectations by sort of playing a sound which is actually opposite the visuals that's being played on screen, and you also sort of said that at one point you were sort of going with more of a conventional sort of a sound design. So at sort of what point and what was the sort of a driving force that made you and I guess Pablo think that no, probably this is not working, and where did this whole germ of sort of, you know, making visuals at odds with the sounds of the film came from? If you could just talk a little about that.
La última parte yo tampoco la entendí mucho.
The last part again, please.
So, where did this whole idea of using this in this using this different device, where you sort of played the sounds, which was different from the visuals that played on the
Yeah.
screen, right? So, where did this come from, and like what was sort of the main motivation behind it?
Where this come from, you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
¿Cuál era la motivación principal para ese
Why
criterio?
did you get that? Why did you decide to do
why did you decide to sort of
Because when we watched the film, the first cut we watched, we feel with Pablo that the film wasn't the straight that it has to be, and everything seems to be like you expect it to be. So we want to turn around things so we can shock the spectator. You can receive the film in a different way, and you can feel the film in a different way. So you can, ¿cómo sería? Excuse my English.
No,
¿Cómo sería identificarse?
Identify, make identification.
So you need to identify yourself with the bad guys, and because if you don't feel the things Pablo wants you to feel. You understand?
yeah.
Okay. So we turn around things, and when you see the family, which are the bad guys, everything sounds very nice. Also, the music sounds very nice. You know, with the clips like Scorsese. And when you saw the good guys, the guys, good presidents on democracy, we use really dark music. We create new dark sounds, and you feel like this guy is really
idea permeated the film, and yes, you're right. I think that it plays in the music,
Yes.
basically. So each time you see the forces of democracy, the forces of peace, the forces of pacification of the country, you listen them, and it's ominous sounds
Yeah.
and music,
And
then
the voices were pitched down, and the ambiences are really dark. Everything sounds like the darkness.
And so that tricks the audience into believing that good is bad and bad is good. And as long as you make the audience be confused with that context, you see, the context is switched. And when you do that, the audience is allowed to identify with the bad guys for a little bit. We needed that. We needed the audience not to reject from the start these guys, but to kind of embrace them, think that they may be good. And I think we achieved that, Tano.
Yeah.
I think we achieved that.
Any other questions, please? So I have one small thing in my mind, because the story is a very interesting one. Storyline is a very interesting one. Theme is very interesting. What you chose to do a film on, that's a very interesting thing. But was it there in Argentina or a socio-cultural issues, such plans had been existing, or it was just, you are saying there's one clan, it's just one aberration over there on which you chose to make the film? Or had there been some that sort of, because like in India we had been in some parts of India in medieval ages, there had been some clans like that which we called Thuggy. They had been, robbing people and doing all those things, but that was a systematic thing. But they wouldn't rob their relatives or friends, unknown people. But this was a known sort of system here. Was it there in Argentina existing at that point of time or some point of time in life? Or is it just one aberration, one off aberration which you took up and made a film of?
Very difficult to answer that.
Well, I would say this. It's an aberration we had for 7 years ruling Argentina. It's not an aberration. I mean, we would love to think that the clan that is depicted in the movie is an aberration. And I believe that what the film is actually saying to us is this: we are the aberration. And I think that's the moment in the end of the film that you realize that, and you come out of the theater feeling, you don't know that that's what you feel, but we know that that's what the picture made you feel. That when you identified with the clan, in a way you said, I am part of the clan. And when the clan kidnaps, and when the clan forces the hostages to make love letters to their cherished ones, and when the clan kills and executes the victims, you are the clan. And even if you don't want to believe it, even if you don't think about it, that's what the film is trying to drive home. It's sad, but at least we believe that when you say sad things that are true, you are making your society grow, and you are making your society healthier. Many people ask me, how did you feel when you were eating such a bad and evil thing, like that? And I answered, I felt very good, because I knew that if I was able to transmit that evil and denounce it as evil, I was doing good, not bad, and I wasn't feeling bad.
Okay, thank you, sir. So any other questions, please? So okay, then we conclude this session here, and thank you very much, all of you, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for spending your time and coming here.
Thank you.
And for one-on-one, sir, you will be taken to another hall where some journalists who want to have one-on-one with you, they will be there.
Thank you very much.
I enjoy the movie.